The goal is to find peace in things other than your eating disorder, because your eating disorder gives a false sense of peace.
It's important to remember that your perspective really has a big factor in whether or not you're going to become overwhelmed, because as long as I always feel like I'm in the driver's seat and I'm in control and I'm the one organizing and I'm the one prioritizing and I'm the one doing whatever it is I want to do, I'm fine, because I know at any moment, at any time, I can always say, I don't want to do this today, or I don't have time to do this today, and I will be able to reprioritize to keep my life balanced. And
I talk about choices a lot in my videos, and you can actually choose to be full of joy. You can actually choose to be full of joy in spite of circumstances, in spite of mental health issues, in spite of family problems or relationship problems. It won't make those problems disappear. It won't automatically solve all of your problems, but you can still choose joy. And when you choose to be joyful, you help yourself in ways that you don't realize. So keep in mind that these waves of intense depression and sadness can be very chemically based. They may not have anything to do with your circumstances, your surroundings, anything that happened in your day, or anything you said or did. Depression is very chemical, and you just can't help it that that wave crashed into you. And it does really hurt, and it is really terrible and hard to deal with, but you have to kind of let go of whatever anger you might feel at having that ruin your day. Because sometimes, even when we don't intend on it, the anger is somehow directed at ourselves. Instead of being angry at the depression, the chemical imbalance, or the chemically charged reaction, we get mad at us. We get mad at ourselves, and that doesn't really serve any purpose. If you didn't do anything wrong and everything was going great, and then all of a sudden that depression wave crashed into you, what's the point in getting mad at you? It's only going to fuel that huge wave of depression that already started. I know that letting go of things can be a very scary process. And I know that because I've been through it myself in years past. It is a sign of strength to know when you are ready and able to let go of certain things, for recovery's sake, for the sake of living your own life. And it's a very strong thing to be able to admit when you need help. So you have to know the difference and trust yourself to be able to learn to make your own decisions. The great thing about being human, about being people, is that we're all so different. And we all have a story that no one can take from us. And we all have a different past, a different future, and a different present. And we can't all be in the same place at the same time, and we really shouldn't want to be. And what happens is people strive to be in the same place as someone else. They want to really be, it's because they admire people. It's because you might admire someone, or you might really respect someone, and so you really want to be what they are, or do what they're doing, or have what they have. And it comes from a very human place, and it's completely normal and completely natural. But depending upon how much you give in to that desire to have your recovery be like someone else's, it can harm you. You have a home inside of you. The past is not what's important. The future is what's waiting. The goal is freedom. That is what you need to keep in mind, like a light, the driving force behind everything you do. The answers are there. They're out there, and they're in here. And if you allow yourself to listen for them, you will hear them. You will. And as soon as you can understand that recovery starts with you and ends with you, and whatever your recovery journey holds in between, you are still the main function. Recovery will start working for you because you are working for recovery. Being a perfectionist takes away from living your life. Not only does everyone have imperfections, but everyone has problems, issues, things that they have to deal with, insecurities. And if you feel that you are the only one, that's where you'll run into that fear of being imperfect. And I know I've felt that fear on a number of occasions. I felt that fear a lot in regards to different things that I'm not good at, things that I wish I was better at, or things that I'm afraid of. And you can learn to embrace your imperfections if you don't think of them as imperfections. Imperfections sounds like a really ugly word because we've been conditioned to think, oh, imperfections, that's not good. And sometimes just stereotypes or stigmas surrounding certain words or feelings can really change our perception about it. The biggest, most important lesson that you can learn while you are learning to stop being a people pleaser is how to say no. And obviously, we know that there are many stigmas surrounding eating disorders and mental health in general. And these stigmas can prevent us from feeling accepted and from feeling like we belong in society at certain points. Sometimes stigmas make us feel misunderstood. Sometimes stigmas actually prevent us from getting the best care possible. Don't be afraid to see what's in there, to see who's in there. The other thing about maybe being afraid that you won't like what you find is that if you do find something you actually can improve, then you're able to improve it. But if you never go there and you never face it and you never open that door, you won't change and you won't become better. It will just stay as part of you. And that fear is actually keeping you from growing and from being the best version of yourself that you can be. What I would tell someone who has been victimized or is being victimized is, this is not your fault. You don't deserve this, and there is help available. Even when things seem that they can't possibly get any worse, there is someone who can help. You're not alone in this. It feels extremely lonely, and it can feel extremely scary. But there are other people who are dealing with the same thing or who have dealt with the same thing. And there are plenty of people who want to help you if you'll let them in. It's very hard. It's very scary. But you can't be afraid to speak up. You're so important and your life is so important. You're worth speaking up for. Gratitude is a powerful, powerful tool. And at the end of the day, if you can just think of 3 things that you are grateful for in your day, even if they seem insignificant or small, it's a big deal. And if you can think of just the number 1 thing that you're most grateful for, that's a step in the right direction. It doesn't have to be anything earth-shattering. It doesn't have to be something huge or even relate to a relationship or another person in your life. It doesn't have to be a great feat or some wonderful thing that someone did for you. Something that you're grateful for when you look back at your whole day. If your whole day was terrible and horrible and you don't ever want to relive it, and you're just praying for that next morning to come, maybe the only bright spot in your horrible day was your cup of coffee that morning, or a 3-minute phone call you had with your mom. Whatever the instance is, hold on to that and let yourself understand that you're grateful for that you want more of that in your life. And being grateful for the little tiny things we do have, even when a lot of things aren't going our way, sometimes is enough to just keep us going from one moment to the next. So we can't discount it. It does have a lot of power. You can do this. You are awesome. Don't forget it. Don't forget it. Don't forget it.